Welcome back to Chop's Garage. Still on the 9-car flip, and I said on the end of the last video I'd let you know how the Chevy Spark drove. Absolutely brilliantly. It drove fine. I can't find a thing on her that I would need to do on the drive side of things. An annoying rattle on the dash, but obviously that'll be declared. There's no point getting underneath the dash and trying to fix that. You'd have to have the dash out. Ain't going to be financially viable, so I will sell it on the basis it has that, and if someone wants it and they're happy with that, they'll take it. If not, they won't, and that way I don't get any comeback and issues. So next step with the Chevy Spark is to give it a machine polish, an interior clean. It's not too bad on the inside. Can't really see, but the seats aren't too bad. They just need a basic clean and it needs a wipe down. It's actually really clean. I think this one's got full main dealer service history, if I remember rightly. I'm going to do a service on anyway because it's a little bit low on oil. Not much, just a little bit, and I always do a service on anyway, like I said in the last video. So do a service on it, give it a machine polish, give the interior a clean. MOT on it is until Feb, so it'll need a new MOT, but I won't do that till it's sold because everybody wants full 12 months. But having from the drive, I can't think it's going to need anything major. Done a few of these. I think they're really good value for money. 2011, 90,000 miles, probably only going to be a £2.5 grand car. Really good value for money. So working on the wheels on the Spark, technique you use for this is give them a really good clean and then I'll wipe over with the anti-silicon wipe thinners, anything like that, white spirits to do the job as well. Put slip card in around the edge of the rim on this, all the way around, and then giving it a light dust coat with the just basic generic silver wheel paint to go straight on. That goes straight onto steel. And then once that's tacked off, I'll give it a heavier coat. Obviously I could have taken the wheels off, I could have masked the wheels up, I could have, you know, shot blast them, keyed them, used a metallic paint on them and all that kind of thing, but no one in this price range is going to give you the money back for that. No one's going to give me a couple of £100 more for this car by taking the tyres off the rims and doing the wheels as you would do on a proper wheel job. This card is preventing the overspray from going out onto the car or onto the tyre because I'm working in quite close. And it will really impact the difference of the car. You remember what the wheels look like before, so this is one of the ones that's got the first coat on. And this is what they look like before. So it's going to really lift the overall look of the car, but it isn't going to add any cost to it. And as I said, someone in this price range would rather get this car cheaper than have to pay more because we did some fancy wheel job on it. This will do absolutely fine for this kind of price range. So just got to get the rest of them done. Playing cards works really well for this as well if you've got them, by the way. Playing cards. What I find with the card I'm using here, which is cut up old rubber glove boxes, is it's a little bit thicker, so it will defy gravity in a few more areas than a playing card will. Yeah, crack on and get these finished off. While the wheels are drying off, tackle the engine bay. Don't use anything particularly special with this, whatever I've got kicking around. I tend to use this all-purpose cleaner for everything now. It's antibacterial, so I use it for the inside, but I found it actually cuts through grease quite well as well. All I do is douse the engine bay in it, spray it all over, work it in with a brush, and then wipe it off. I don't like to get too much water in the engine bay for obvious reasons, so if this gets it clean enough, I'll leave it. If this doesn't get it clean enough, then I will jet wash, but stick around the back of the engine, do the firewall and stuff like that, rather than get it over the actual mechanicals. Right, just had a chap called Andy interrupt me while I was doing the Chevy Spark. Missed out on one of my cars before, missed out on another car. He's just come down, said he had around 2k, showed him the Kia Rio. Reckons he's coming down tomorrow with the cash to have that. But I did say I'd stick a new MOT on it for him. For asking price $19.95, I said I'll stick a new MOT on it and I'll do a service on it for him. So fingers crossed, if that happens, it means that's sold in sort of like, well, I listed it on Saturday afternoon, it's now Monday morning, and that'll be another one of them gone. I don't think the Spark will hang around once I've done it, but so yeah, people don't always do what they say they're going to do, but fingers crossed that means another one's gone. There we go, not looking for immaculate, just looking for tidy, clean and tidy. So I think that will do it for that, the engine bay. Now move on to polishing the body. Now we've got the wheels done, engine bays tidy, crack on, do the body. Just leave it about 10 minutes long and make sure that paint's gone off, and then get cracking on that. So Chevy's all done the photo shoot. Didn't quite get a walk around in because it was pouring with rain, but she's come up really nice, really clean car. Like I say, it's got full main dealer service history. It's a one owner car. It's obviously been well looked after. The wheels, just lifted it, just painted those wheels with that just basic silver, really lifted the look of the car. Inside wise, I didn't need to do a lot, it was super clean already. It's too dark unfortunately outside for you to see, but it was super clean inside already, so I didn't need to do a lot there. So I'm going to go and list up for sale now. I'll put some margin in to allow for whatever it might need on its MOT. So allow about 150 quid for its MOT and any repairs that need doing, because obviously I'll do them myself, so it'll only be the parts. So I'm not quite sure what price I'll put her up for. I think she's got to be worth 2.5 grand. 2011, 90,000 miles, one owner, full service history. I thought it's worth 2.5 grand. I forget how much I've got in her right now, but we'll go through the maths a bit later. So next one on the list is the Mazda 2. I'm going to drive that home tonight and see if it drives okay. If it drives okay, then I know tomorrow I just need to, again, a valeting job, get the pictures and then get it up, and then I'll move on to the Honda. Once I've done the Honda, the Fabia, and then on to the Toyota. So and fingers crossed that chap comes and has the Rio tomorrow. So drove the little Mazda 2 home back last night, checked that one out. As I said, that was the one I didn't really know anything about and done it with. I have to say, drove absolutely brilliantly. I haven't driven one of these before. I think they share a floor plan with the Ford Fiesta, don't they, which is renowned for good handling. And this handles really well. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Got a peppy little engine and it really turns in nicely and grips really well. If you want to drive a small car, then I'd say one of these. They're a lot cheaper than the Ford Fiesta as well. When you look at prices, Ford Fiesta seems to be holding a big premium at the moment. But yeah, this drove absolutely brilliant. Other than it needs a battery, it needed to be jump started, and this morning it was a bit slow starting. But other than that, I think it just needs a good clean up. It's got a long MOT on it. It's got a bit of a scrape on the bumper here, which I'll do something about. Interior wise, it's a bit grimy from sitting, but I think it's all going to come up, clean up really nicely. It's got really good equipment levels as well. Got auxiliary input, aircon, CD radio, electric mirrors, electric windows, really good spec. Yeah, I'm well happy with that. Great fun car. I should be able to put this out the door about 2,495 on a 59 plate. It's only done 50,000 miles, so it'll be a cheap car for someone. And really good practical. I don't know what they're like for insurance. I need to check that out. A lot of my buyers, obviously insurance is a big thing, but as a family run around, brilliant little car, well chuffed with that. Yeah, highly recommended one of these. I'll look out for more of these. Someone also messaged me last night about the Spark. As soon as it was put it up for $19.95. I checked the price on these. 2.5 was a bit cheeky, so $19.95 is what I've put on this. Put it up last night, already had a message for it. Reckons it's coming in at 1 o'clock today to look at that. So, and then there was the other chap that said he's coming to look at the Rio. So we'll see what happens with that today. So got the Mazda in all washed up. If you remember, this is the corner I thought I'd have to paint, but I've given it a compound polish and then found that the white on it was actually white paint sitting on top of the paint. So I used thinners to get it off, then compound polished it again. You can see it's come up great. Don't have to paint that corner at all now. And there were some scuffs on the front bumper that were similar, and they've all come out. All I'm left with is a tiny little bit of paint loss here, and I've got Ford Moondust Silver and a Volkswagen Reflex Silver. I'm sure one of those, or mixing them together, will be enough just to touch that in. So the fact I don't have to paint the car at all now, brilliant, well happy. Looks like it's going to come up nice and clean. So cracking on with the little Mazda. Got the wheel acid on, get all the alloys nice and clean. They've all come up really nicely, no lacquer peel or bubbling, tiny bit in the centre of that one, but overall they're really good. All the tyres got a load to tread on, which I like as well. It looks like almost new tyres all round, so that's a nice thing to be able to send it out with. Yeah, all the alloys come up really well, and clean the inside. And as I thought, that's come up again, you can't see, it's a bit too dark. I will try and get you pictures, but it's come up really nicely inside. Really clean. Nothing to say like tears or marks or stains in there. So all that's left now is to give her a coat of wax and a buff, and then she'll be ready for the photo shoot, and that'll be another one up for sale. I think 2495 for this. The only bit of bodywork on it is this bit down here. It is a Cat car, Cat N, and I know you go to 30% or 25-30% cheaper than a non-Cat car, but my personal belief is when you get to this kind of age, 59 plate, you know, below £3,000, £2.5 grand, it really shouldn't make any difference, because at the end of the day, all the cars you're looking at will have had paint, will have had a bumper, will have had a wing at that point in their life. I'm pretty damn sure about that. And when you come to sell it on after, you know, 2 or 3 years, it's going to be probably a sub 2k car. And again, you know, people are going to buy on condition, service history, MOT length at that price point. Sure enough, when we start getting into the 5 grand car, 5k plus cars of 2014s to 2015s and above, yes, I always factor in 30% lower price, like I did with the Dacia Sandero on a 2016. But when you start coming to this kind of budget, no, I don't take big deductions off it. I'd normally start this up at 2995 with 50,000 miles on a 59 plate. I don't worry too much about what Auto Trader says. I just look at the local market, I look at what I've sold before, and I make a judgment on that. And I think with 50,000 miles on, with a year's MOT, good service history, in excellent condition, and drives fantastic, with all new tyres all round, with my warranty on it, that is worth 2.5 grand all day long. So that's the way I work out the pricing on these ones. So just to, let's say, wax and a polish now, and then we'll get out and do a walk around video and a photo shoot. So I was just about to take the Mazda 2 out, just on the last bit, the tyre shine bit of it. We've got that machine polish done. Looking really, really good. Unfortunately, I'm going to photograph it in the rain. But yeah, I just was interrupted during that with the chap who was interested in the Kia Rio. He came back and he's put a deposit down on the Kia Rio at $19.95. For that, I'm going to do a new MOT, a service on it before it goes out the door, and obviously add a warranty. I've allowed for about 150 quid getting it through the MOT. If that happens, I should make about, I reckon about £900 off that, which isn't bad for a car that costs £200 plus fees and delivery. Chap took the Spark out. They said he was going to come and see the Spark. He took that out for a test drive as well. He's going to go home, speak to his wife, and come back to me this evening. Nothing's ever a done deal, so we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, moving quickly now. So let's get the Mazda 2 out, get it photographed. Can't do a walk around video unfortunately, but let's get it photographed and we'll see if there's any interest in this one. So just got the Kia back from the MOT, and it only failed on a bulb. Got an advisory for a tyre, and for one of the steering rack gaiters, the offside one being twisted. So basically someone's on the track and twisted the gaiter up on it. So untwisted the gaiter, put the bulb in, and I booked it in with them to have the tyre done. So that is sold and out the door, ready for the guy to pick up with its fresh MOT. I'm just going to service it quickly actually before it goes out. And then the chap just came and put the deposit down on the Chevy Spark. So he did have the Chevy Spark. He's put the deposit down on it. So the Spark has gone. I've got a young lady messaging me about the Mazda 2 that I put up last night. She wants to part exchange a Mini. So she says she likes a few of the cars I've got. So fingers crossed with that. So all we've got left is the Fabia, the Honda, and the Yaris. I think the Honda's going to be the next one I get onto because it doesn't need a lot. Then the Fabia, and then the Yaris because it needs the clutch. I'd allowed £100 for MOT work, hadn't I? It looks like the MOT work's going to be about 50 quid. And I'd already allowed for the servicing kit. So profit on the Rio is going to be about £1,200, I think. So for a car that I bought for 200 quid, it's going to be about 800 quid all in, including fees, delivery, blah, servicing, MOT, and there'll be about 1,200 quid profit on it. So 1,200 quid profit on £800, you can't really complain, can you? Decided to get cracking on the Fabia because I want to test drive it and see how it drives before I put any money in it. And it's that dirty inside, I don't really want to drive it like it is. So I'm going to give the interior a clean up. And for that, because I've got staining on it, I'm going to use a soda mix with water. I forget the soda now, what is it? Bicarb soda or something like that? Anyway, whatever the wife sends me in with. And it gets the stains out really nicely, and I'll use the wet hoover to take it back out again. So let's see if we can get all this staining out of these seats. It's soda crystals I'm using, soda crystals in an old carpet stain remover bottle that I had kicking around. Let me show you it in action. So here's one seat I've already done, and that's one I haven't done. You can see staining all over it. So I'll show you another example. If we go to the back seat here, where we've got a lot of staining in the centre section there. Oh, let's get out of your way. Take that out of the way 1 second. And if I get my bottle, I rub that in. It's got a little sponge on the end of it and a little bit of a soft brush. I'm just going to rub that in. So in the bottle I've mixed up the soda crystals and warm water. I'm just rubbing it in like this. Go over it a few times, and you can see it's clean. So I've obviously got to get the hoover on and suck that water back out again now, but do this all over the seats and I think they're going to come up quite nicely. So, and soda crystals are a hell of a lot cheaper than any of these like ready-made cleaning things. Forget how much this is, really talking, you know, a couple of quid or whatever, and that lasts for ages. Can mix it about 20-80, I'd say. Yeah, it does the job. Can sometimes leave a white residue on the seats afterwards, so sometimes you then have to give them just a quick wipe over with a damp cloth, but it's the cheapest and quickest way to get these sort of grubby water stainy marks out. There we go, all cleaned up. I'm going to just suck the dampness out of it, but you can see that is a massive change. That driver's seat, massive change. Yeah, sometimes I might need a second going over, and like I said, you will be left with a white residue on a lot of stuff afterwards, which you need to wipe down, but I'd say super cheap, quick and easy way of doing it. To be honest, a lot of the time I pay the valeters around the corner to do it, because they only charge me like another 30 or 40 pounds, so if I'm short on time I have them do it, but they're closed with COVID at the moment, so I crack on with it myself. But the back seats, you can see, look like new again now. So let's say suck the water out, and then let's give the outside of it a wash. Right, so it's now 5:30, just squeezed in washing the Skoda. I want to get home at a decent night tonight. I've been staying mostly late to crack through these cars, so I haven't seen much of the family, so I'm going to get home ready in time for dinner tonight. So giving her a really good wash, and tell you what, she's come up really nice. It's a really nice colour, this. I really like this metallic red, looks good. I'll get some new alloy trim, trim covers for the wheels. Struggling with words. And inside wise, as we saw, and that's starting to dry out now, and it's looking really good. That's come up super clean. The entire inside of this car is now as good as all those other ones I had that were already mint. So really come up well with interior, pleased with that. And the body line is really straight on it. It's got no dings down the side of it. It's got some bits that need polishing out, a little bit of rubbing there. But overall, she looks really good. Whoever did this bonnet needs to have a word with themselves. That's just lazy. Whatever they've done there, they've done a lazy job on that. So that's the next job tomorrow. Sand that down. I will get somebody else to spray that, because rattle cans metallic is hard enough for rattle cans anywhere, but an area as big as that bonnet, it'll be tiger striping all over the place. So we'll get somebody else to do the bonnet for me. I doubt it'll be an exact match, with the best will in the world, those metallics, and we are going to be going panel to panel, not blending into the wings. But this car is probably going to go up for £19.95, so under £2,000 at that price point. If it looks clean and tidy, that's the important thing. So I'll go £19.95 with 12 months MOT on it. I'll do a fresh service on it. It's already got a full main dealer service history, if you remember, on this one, which is amazing. Obviously one of those people looked after it mechanically but didn't care about it bodywork wise. and it'll go out with a 3-month warranty. So £19.95 at that price point, someone's going to get a really nice looking little car. The Rio's back from the MOT, bits and bobs that need doing. I had the guys across the road fit a new tyre for me. So we've got a new Goodyear on the front there for that tyre. And then tomorrow I'm going to do oil filter, air filter on the Rio, so the chap can have that. You'll notice I got asking price for the Rio, I've got asking price for all the other cars. Pricing wise, for starters, I think some of these cars could have been, you know, for example, this could probably be a 2295, 2395. Some of the other cars could have been 2295 and stuff like that. When I'm in this price bracket, I try and stay either 1995, 2995. You know, people search up to £2,000. And when it comes to people coming and trying to knock me down price, that's exactly what I tell them. The truth is always the best story. I just say, I've priced it in 1995. What I really wanted is 2295, 2195, but I knew people would be searching to £2,000, so that is my rock bottom price. And in that price, I am going to service it for you. I am going to give you a warranty, and I am going to make sure it's got 12 months MOT on it. So all the money that I'm keeping is going into the car. I'm putting that money into the car. It's not just profit. So what would you rather? Would you have rather money, you know, a few quid off, or have the money in the car, me doing stuff that you might have to do in future? So as I say, I was 20 years in sales and marketing before this, running teams of salespeople, and I always told them the same thing. The story, the truth is always the best story. You can't get caught out on it, and people can tell when you're being honest about it. And if they don't want to buy that price, you know, you see the speed that my cars go out, I don't have to worry about it. I've got no pressure. So, yeah, just get what you think. So fair asking price. The reason the cars move quick is because I price them keenly. And I know that market well. So again, if you're starting out in this game and you're looking to sell cars, look for the sort of niche in your area. In my area, around me, there's lots of new car dealers, and you know, 5 to 10 grand, and the new car dealers. But around here, it's a seasonal area up in Devon. People don't have a lot of cash. Most people don't have a lot of cash. It's quite seasonal. And most people are looking for runarounds, and there aren't a lot of places around here that do cars £2,000 to £5,000, and none that have a particularly good reputation anyway for putting out good stuff. So again, coming back to the cars, the reason I'll do things that perhaps other dealerships might not do with the servicing and all that kind of stuff is it's going to cost me 40 quid for the servicing stuff on this. It didn't actually need a service. It wasn't due one for another 4 months, but it's going to cost me 40 quid for the servicing stuff. And I think treating people like that, I'm going to get that £40 back 2 or 3 times over easily with recommendations from other people. So yeah, so tomorrow it's cracking on with sanding down the bonnet on the Skoda and get it ready for paint. I decided to tackle this, and I say I was going to do the Honda next, but I'm tackling this one. Get the while Stu is free with the spray booth over there to do the bonnet for me. So Stu's the guy that owns the unit. While he's free to do the bonnet for me, I'll get him to do the bonnet, and then while he's doing the bonnet, I can crack on with the Honda. And I've got to work out tonight a part exchange price for a young lady on the Mazda 2. She's got a Mini to part exchange, so I've got to work out a price for her tonight on that. But that's probably where I'll leave it for tonight. And like I say, crack on tomorrow. Minis, I seem to get loads and loads of people want to part exchange in Minis all the time. Young lady with this one that's having this one wanted to part exchange her Mini as well. Still waiting on the part for that. I've tracked down another supplier for it, and fingers crossed it gets here quicker than the stuff that's stuck in Germany. But I'm only waiting for that one inner tie rod, and that car can go out the door, and she's desperate to have it. And I could do with the space as normal. Righto, I think I'm going to leave the video there, as I said. Try and get content out a little bit quicker for you guys. Next video, we'll be getting the bonnet done on the Fabia. We'll be finding out what's happened with the Mazda 2, if it's gone out the door or not. We'll be cracking on with the Honda. And then it's time to do the one I've been avoiding, which is get onto that Yaris and get the clutch changed out on it. So as always, many thanks for watching. Many thanks for your patience on lighting and all that kind of stuff, and always welcome your suggestions on what you want to see more of. Do you want to see more of the processes? Do you actually want to see more of the cleaning going on, or are you happy just seeing the end result on it? Do you want to see some of the mechanical work going on some of the cars, or does that not really interest you? You just want to see them come in, state they come in, see them get cleaned up, and then see how much profit we made out of them. And as I said, at the end, I will go through all of the profits. It'll be interesting to sit down and work it out this midway point. You know, maybe you comment if you want to see that, because I think we might be getting to a point where we've actually covered all of our costs and all of the cars, and the next 3 we sell might well be pure profit. I think we might have covered the cost of all the cars on the sales we've made to date. So, oh yeah, tomorrow I've also got to service that Chevy Spark, because the guy paid the deposit on that. So I've got to service the Chevy Spark, and the Chevy Spark will be going in for an MOT as well. So we'll see if I get as lucky as I did with the Kia, which only failed on a light bulb, which I could have done, but obviously I had an advisory for a steering rack gaiter and that tyre, so I've done both of those. Yeah, we'll see if I get as lucky with the Chevy or not. And let's see how we get on the other cars. Thanks again. Cheers.